MSW Media.
So yeah, now it's clean up on aisle 45 time. And for a long while yet, it is going to be clean up on aisle 45.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 242 of Clean Up on Aisle 45. 242. It's Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. I'm Allison Gill.
Hey, G, what's up? It's Harry Dunn here. All right, so a lot has been happening over the last week and so much to dive into. So we're going to try to get as much as we can get covered today. Barry Loudermilk has formed his subcommittee to investigate the January 6th attack on the Capitol. The Proud Boys are calling for Pam Bondi to step down because she refused to settle with them. And Newsmax has sued Fox, but that case has already been dismissed.
Yeah, on a technicality, we'll get into the details. Plus, we know the Trump administration is going after his political enemies for mortgage fraud, but 3 members of Trump's cabinet and Ken Paxton and Bill Pulte's family members and Jim Comer and Donald Trump have also committed mortgage fraud. So we'll talk about that. An appeals court has upheld the $84 million E Jean Carroll judgment. There's some good news today. And Pete Navarro is not done suing the Department of Justice because he's just that weird.
Yeah, he is.
They're like, we're trying to let you off the hook, bro. And he's like, no, listen, more. It's odd. We'll talk about that. But first, we have some Hall of Fame patrons to shout out, including Jens Eilstrup Rasmussen, Joey Merck, Karen Sherman. Help me make none of Baltimore like The Wire.
That's pretty funny.
We Will Survive. Greg Kreimer, Ren Special K Kaidu, Jeffrey Kinsher, and Jana Highsmith, or Jana, excuse me. I hope I pronounced that right.
Jana's a good friend of mine, personally.
Hi, Jana. Hello.
Jana's my good friend. Hey, Jana.
Thank you all so very much for supporting us and supporting independent media. And we went over this particular story in more detail on the Daily Beans yesterday, but the House Oversight Committee got the birthday book and other documents from the Epstein estate.
Yeah.
Including that drawing that Trump sued the Wall Street Journal over being fake. The letter that he wrote, it's all fake. I want to sue you. And they're like, no. And so now that drawing is out, plus a lot more documents. And Harry, this is great because none of these documents come from the DOJ. So they haven't been scrubbed.
Correct. And
anything.
I think that's their biggest fear, isn't it? Like that this is what they don't want. Monday, I think they sent the lawyers for both sides of the oversight committee up to New York to look at the documents. And I think that Tuesday was when the members went up there to view everything. But this is exactly what the DOJ did not want. They wanted to be able to control the leak, the slow drip, the breadcrumbs that they were feeding to the public, and basically having Congress giving their talking points about it. Sorry, that doesn't work here. The Epstein estate had to turn over those documents. And as we've seen, the Democrats have already released another drawing and the letters. And I just can't wait to see what more comes from this.
Yeah. And I want to point out, you've seen the drawing, yeah?
Yeah, definitely saw the drawing.
It's not what everybody kind of thought it was. Like normal people, when they think of a drawing of a naked woman, they think like a woman. This is a drawing of like a teenager.
Yeah.
I won't get into the reasons why. It's clearly not an adult woman, but it's somehow more disturbing than what we all thought.
Well, especially because we know not even the allegations, what's been proved by Epstein, the stories of it. So
and
of course it's absolutely about children, which makes it even worse.
Yeah. So the House has all that. They're going to be looking at it. I'm sure that the Democrats on the House are going to release what they can release. I say release all the things that you got. Why not? You know, what are they going to do? Sue you? It's out.
It's out.
It's out. And, you got that speech or debate clause backing you up for.
Yeah.
For
and let's go. Just to go back real quick, what you said about how they didn't want this out. This goes back to how the effort that they did when you broke the story, AG, about the FBI being trained on how to flag documents that Trump identifiers in the files.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and I'm suing to get those.
Yeah. We need
and we're
that.
coming up on some deadlines. We'll keep you posted on that. But there's some other stuff going on in the House, right, Harry?
All right, yeah. So we have some more news out of Congress, and NBC is reporting that the House last Wednesday voted down a measure to censure Representative LaMonica McIver, Democrat from New Jersey, and to remove her from committee assignments over a role in an alleged confrontation with law enforcement at a New Jersey immigration detention center in May. 5 Republican members joined all Democrats to sink the resolution. Nebraska Representatives Don Bacon and Mike Flood, Ohio Representative David Joyce and Michael Turner, and California Rep. David Valido.
Interesting. And I hear that applause erupted on the floor when they
voted. Absolutely.
2 other Republicans voted present, which provided the Democrats enough votes to table the measure. Now, Clay Higgins, he introduced the resolution to censure her. Of
course he did.
Tuesday night as a privileged matter, the fast track process that forces a vote within 2 legislative days. This was his second attempt, as he had also introduced the resolution before the August recess, but that got bogged down with Epstein amendments.
Epstein stuff, yep.
Thanks to Hakeem Jeffries. Now, McIver lashed out at Higgins after he threatened to push the vote, saying in a statement, "We were all elected to do the people's work. I take that responsibility seriously. Clay Higgins clearly does not. Instead of making life any better for the people he represents, he's seeking to punish me for doing what he and his caucus are too cowardly to do. Conduct real oversight, stand up to this administration, and do our jobs." And then she added, "If House Republicans think they can make me run scared, they're wrong."
That sounds like a New Jersey woman right there. Wow, that is
Jersey
fire.
Girl in the House.
Go ahead, Jersey girl. Yeah. But on the same day they tabled the censure of Representative McIver, House Republicans voted to establish a new subcommittee to reinvestigate the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol, according to the Washington Post. Lawmakers slipped a resolution into a rule on the House floor that would establish the subcommittee, which is likely to be headed by Barry Loudermilk out of Georgia. Republicans have complained that the original probe, which was led by Democrats, was biased against Donald Trump, who has repeatedly denied he lost the 2020 election.
Every single person that was interviewed outside of maybe like Ruby Freeman and Shea Moss
was a Republican.
Were Republicans. They were all fucking Republicans. Pardon my French on the main episode. And,
Republicans that worked within the administration, the Trump administration.
Yeah.
So.
And Loudermilk led tours when the Capitol was closed.
Yeah, sure did.
Insurrectionists saying
to
he was
people
showing
who were
them
there. At the
fun
Capitol.
wall sconces. Yeah.
That I showed you. Remember, I got to show you that.
Yeah. That was one of my most liked photos on Twitter back when we were still on Twitter.
Yeah.
Before it was garbage.
Yeah.
Before the inshitification. And you're like, here's the sconce. I took a photo of me with the sconce. Like, here it is, guys. Here's the sconce. And everybody was like, oh my God, please. And yeah, Loudermilk lied. He was like, it was a family of 4. And then it was a family of 4 with their friends. And then it was a family of 4 with a bunch of more friends. And yeah, they were wearing MAGA hats. And then it was a group of like 16. But just story changed every day.
And they were at the Capitol on January 6th.
Yes.
So not just they were just getting a tour. They were at the Capitol on January 6th, preventing law enforcement officers from doing their job.
Now, you may not know this, but Loudermilk has already helmed one inquiry into the January 6th investigation. He used a subcommittee of the House Administration Committee to conduct a follow-up to the Democratic-led investigation after Republicans took control of the House in 2023. He's already done this and found nothing.
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. People don't realize it wasn't just they've had the opportunity to do this. They've had the opportunity. They had it, and they didn't do anything about it.
And Barry says, we're going to continue the work we did last time. Okay. Which is looking at the evidence to still try to understand how did the Capitol get breached? Really? You don't know?
Yeah.
There was a huge security failure here. Yeah.
Like, I feel like one of the things that one of the political terms that I've come to like is there is no there there. There's no there. So there's nothing there. The resolution would establish a select subcommittee under the House Judiciary Committee with a total of 8 members to be appointed by House Speaker Mike Johnson, and not more than 3 be appointed in consultation with the Democratic minority, Hakeem Jeffries. Loudermilk said he believed Democrats would not be constrained in their choice of appointees.
Well, they've been appointed.
Here we go.
By Hakeem Jeffries, right? We got Swalls, Biggie Swalls, which is Eric Swalwell.
Eric Swalwell.
Jasmine Crockett.
We love her. She's so fire.
She's one of my favorites. Jamie Raskin.
Who is my congressman.
And Moskowitz.
I'm curious. I know that I love Jared in some instances. Some instances I've been very critical of him.
Yeah.
But
he's a pretty moderate guy.
He is. But I do know when it comes to January 6th, he is not with the BS.
No,
and he is going to not allow this attempt by the Republicans to whitewash, or none of these members are. We already know, everybody obviously already knows Jamie Raskin is a stud. And Eric Swalwell is definitely not afraid to get in there, roll his sleeves up, and throw down. So, and Jasmine Crockett just speaks for herself. So
Loudermilk says the Democrats would not be constrained. Let's see if they allow these picks to go forward.
We'll see. We'll see, because, I mean, like, could they say it's payback for not letting Jim Jordan on the original January 6th committee? Who else was it? Jim Jordan,
Banks.
Comer, and Jim Banks. Jim Banks. That's what it was. So,
yeah, but they won't be constrained. Okay, let's see.
We'll see.
That's why you throw Jasmine Crockett on there to be like, show me you're not going to constrain
Watch
shit.
This, exactly.
Right? She's the gauntlet.
Yeah,
and I love it. And I will bet some bourbon. I'll bet your bourbon that they're going to constrain some stuff here.
They are absolutely going to put constraints on this. So Loudermilk's not going to know what hit them, metaphorically speaking.
It's like an 8-3 or 4 majority of Republicans. Yeah. So maybe they'll be like, yeah, we'll just let him on there. But I don't know.
I believe I saw that Swalwell was going to be the chair, or the ranking member of this subcommittee here. And I think Raskin had another title by his name. I forgot exactly.
Maybe vice chair, maybe vice ranking
something
member
like
or something.
This. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
All right. We have still a ton of news to get to.
Tons of it.
After this break, we're going to talk about some court rulings that have come down, some good, some bad. And we're going to talk about all that right after this quick break. Stick around. We'll be right back. Do you ever catch yourself procrastinating? That is when you could be saving money, but you keep putting it off. I used to be guilty of it too, until I heard about Mint Mobile's best deal of the year. Right now, new customers get 50% off unlimited premium wireless. That means you can cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month, but you have to act fast before the deal is over. So we'd like to thank our new sponsor, Mint Mobile. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/cleanup. So here's the truth. There's no reason to keep overpaying big wireless companies for the same service. Mint Mobile gives you high-speed data plus unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. You don't even have to get a new phone. You can bring your current phone in, your phone number, you could save that, and all your contacts right along with you. And if you sign up now, you'll get 3 months of unlimited premium wireless for just $15 a month. Our producer gave it a try. He had unlocked an Android phone that was just lying around and decided to test it out. And a couple days later, his SIM card showed up. He popped it in and he was set up in less than 10 minutes. And now he has a second phone number. So if you don't want a second phone number, like I said, you can keep your old number and sync your contacts too. And the best part, the coverage is just as strong and the speeds are just as fast. So don't miss out on 3 months of unlimited premium wireless from Mint Mobile for just $15 a month. But hurry, because this deal ends September 22nd. So quit stalling and start saving when you make this switch. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/cleanup. That's mintmobile.com/cleanup. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, everybody, welcome back. All right, now, while the Supreme Court continues its full-on assault on the rule of law by issuing decisions on the shadow docket with little to no explanation, we do have some other lower court proceedings to report on. First up from the Times, a federal appeals court on Monday upheld an $83.3 million jury award against President Trump for defaming the writer E Jean Carroll in 2019 after she accused him of a decades-old rape in a Manhattan department store, an attack for which he was separately found liable for sexual abuse.
Yes, the court also rejected Trump's argument that the Supreme Court's decision last year affording presidential immunity for official acts barred a finding of liability in Carroll's lawsuit. So this decision comes with a little immunity in it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think maybe the Supreme Court might take it up. The unsigned ruling by a 3-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit in Manhattan was unanimous. The president has assailed Ms. Carroll after she accused him of the assault, saying her claim was totally false and she was trying to sell a book. He continued his verbal attacks on her on social media, at news conferences, and even during the trial, in which Ms. Carroll's lawyers had urged the jury to impose a large award in order to stop him.
Yeah, in its ruling on Monday, the appeals court said the record in the case supported the finding by the trial judge, Louis A. Kaplan, that the degree of reprehensibility of Mr. Trump's conduct was remarkably high, perhaps unprecedented. The court noted that Mr. Trump never wavered or relented in his public attacks on Ms. Carroll, that he issued statements castigating her as a politically and financially motivated liar, insinuating that she was too unattractive for him to have sexually assaulted her, and threatening that she would pay dearly for speaking out.
Now, the court says Ms. Carroll was subjected to public harassment as a result of Trump's statements, including death threats and threats of physical injury. Mr. Trump's attacks continued throughout the lengthy litigation, the court said, and became more extreme and frequent. The court cited one statement 2 days into the trial in which Mr. Trump, quote, proclaimed he would continue to defame Carroll 1,000 times, unquote. So he admitted 2 days into trial that he was defaming her.
And that he was going to do it thousands of times.
Now, the appeals court said, quote, the jury was entitled to find that Trump would not stop defaming Carroll unless he was subjected to a substantial financial penalty.
Yeah, and in December, a different 3-judge panel of the Second Circuit unanimously upheld a separate civil verdict Ms. Carroll won against Mr. Trump in 2023. In that case, a jury awarded her $5 million in damages after finding him liable for sexually abusing Ms. Carroll in a Bergerdorf Goodman dressing room in the mid-1990s and defaming her in statements he made in 2022 after he was out of office.
After he was out of office.
So that's important. A big key right there. It's very important. Mr. Trump's lawyers have said that he intends to ask the Supreme Court to review the jury's $5 million verdict and liability findings.
We'll see how that goes, and we'll keep you posted.
I always wondered, HE, like we talked about the immunity that comes up with this, but hasn't the Supreme Court already ruled that you can be civilly sued?
Mm-hmm.
They've already ruled that.
But he's saying that evidence that happened or was generated when he was in office is subject to presidential immunity and can't be used in a civil suit.
In official acts, though, I thought that was the sticking point for this, no?
Well, it's official acts. There's absolute immunity. Then for unofficial acts, there's presumed immunity. And then for acts in question, I should say, for things that don't have anything to do with your job, there's not any immunity. But evidence, there's that fourth prong of the immunity ruling about evidence that even Amy Coney Barrett was like, no, that I'm not ruling for that. And so that's what he's contending. Some of the evidence here that was used in this civil suit happened when it was generated when he was president, and therefore is subject to presidential immunity in the evidence part of the finding. So don't know what the Supreme Court's going to say about that, but so much of the defamation happened when he was not president, and same with the sexual assault
when he was not president.
Yeah, so I don't know how this is going to shake out, but we'll see. We'll keep you posted. I know that E Jean Carroll has one of the best lawyers in the business in Robbie Kaplan. So
yeah, Kaplan is all over it.
Yeah. And in some other court news, also from the Times, a federal judge in Miami on Friday dismissed an antitrust lawsuit that the right-wing cable channel Newsmax filed against Fox News earlier in the week. We teased this on the bonus episode this weekend. The judge said Newsmax could refile the complaint, though. Newsmax's lawsuit was, quote, an impermissible shotgun pleading in which 4 of the 5 counts incorporated allegations from the preceding counts. That's what Judge Eileen Cannon wrote in the U.S. District Court. Quote, each count must identify the particular legal basis for liability and contain specific factual allegations that support each cause of action within each count. That's what Judge Cannon said. And she said Newsmax could file an amended complaint by Thursday, tomorrow. Quote, we understand this is a technical matter and our law firm is refiling. That's what a Newsmax spokesperson said in a statement.
Yeah, in a court filing on Wednesday, Newsmax accused Fox of operating as a near monopoly in conservative cable television news and deploying anti-competitive tactics to bar rivals. The complaint argued that Fox had used its market power to put pressure on cable and satellite distributors not to include Newsmax and other right-leaning news channels in their entry-level package of channels or to face paying more. Fox's campaign to stunt Newsmax's business has delayed for almost a decade Newsmax growth in pay TV distribution, the complaint said. So this is interesting right here. They, what do we say on the bonus, AG? We said, what is it? They are out, who can outlie the other or something like, you had something good that
you're cornering the market on lying to the public. You can't do that. We should be able to get in on that action, right?
Let us in on that. We want to lie.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly what this is. And so Judge Cannon said that because the pleading and the counts weren't individually separated, they were built on one another, they have to refile.
Yeah, so a technical issue. So this will be back. This being thrown out isn't any major developments here. It just shows the lawyer's ability is not that well.
No, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
That's what
broke.
It shows.
They're broke and they can't afford a good lawyer.
A good lawyer that knows, hey, I would have done this in my sleep, right?
I don't know who's representing Newsmax, but antitrust stuff, which has been, by the way, completely dismantled at the Department of Justice. They don't care about antitrust.
They don't even care about it anymore.
For civil suits. But this will be interesting. We'll see how this goes.
And also that I don't know to slip past our listeners that we saw Eileen Cannon is overseeing that. And we all remember where we know her name from. So
yes, she was the judge presiding over the documents case against Donald Trump, which she dismissed because Clarence Thomas said, hey, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I don't think Jack Smith was appointed constitutionally. And so she dismissed the whole thing in a 93-page ruling that we covered pretty extensively on the Jack podcast with Andy McCabe. All right, we've got more stuff to talk about. We've talked about these lawsuits, these court filings in lower courts. We're going to talk a little bit about the weaponization of the Department of Justice.
There's that weaponization word.
Yeah, because every accusation is a confession with this particular administration.
Yep.
And so when the administration goes after Democrats for mortgage fraud, I think maybe you shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house.
Make sure their ducks are in a row, right?
Make sure the glass house in which you're throwing stones doesn't have 2 mortgages on it.
Well done, my friend. Well done.
Make sure it's your primary residence.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. All right, everybody, stick around. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. Let's talk about the weaponization of the Department of Justice and how it can sometimes backfire. First up, from Mother Jones. When New York Attorney General Letitia James accused Donald Trump of committing fraud by lying to banks and insurance companies about the value and size of his properties, he never really denied it. Everyone does things like this, is what his lawyers argued. And no bank ever lost any money, so what's the big deal? What's the big deal? It's not a big deal. Everyone does this. But now that he's back in office, Trump seems to have decided that telling banks things that aren't true while seeking loans is a very big deal after all.
Mm-hmm.
His administration has launched investigation into Tish James herself, Lisa Cook, the Biden appointee on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, alleging both women improperly told banks that 2 different properties that each of them owned were both their primary residences. He's previously made similar accusations against one of his main Democratic antagonists in Congress, California Senator Adam Schiff.
Yeah, Shifty Schiff. The investigations were launched with the help of Bill Pulte, the Trump appointee leading the Federal Housing and Finance Agency. On Friday, Reuters reported that relatives of Pulte appear to have done the very thing Trump and Pulte are targeting James and Cook over. Reuters says that Pulte's father and stepmother had simultaneously requested homestead exemptions, a discount on property taxes for a primary residence on 2 different properties, one in Michigan and one in Florida. It's not clear if it's illegal to do so, and in some cases, tax experts told Reuters it is permissible. For example, if a married couple live separately, but after being asked about the Pulte situation, local tax officials promptly revoked the exemption on the Michigan House, Reuters reported.
The news about Pulte's relatives comes after a Thursday report from the amazing folks at ProPublica that revealed that 3 different members of Trump's cabinet appear to have simultaneously claimed multiple properties as their primary residence. ProPublica found records showing Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, and EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin all claimed 2 different homes as primary residence. Chavez DeRemer made the claims about her 2 homes, one in Oregon in her congressional district that she previously represented, and one in Arizona where she's known to vacation, within 2 months of each other. All 3 cabinet members denied any wrongdoing and accused ProPublica of liberal bias. Now, according to ProPublica, it's not necessarily illegal to claim multiple homes as your primary residence at the same time, and in some cases, it may be encouraged by bank employees, but it's generally frowned upon. Banks typically offer reduced mortgage rates for primary residences and higher rates for second homes or income homes. The practice stems from a belief that people are more likely to diligently repay the mortgage on a property if they live in it full time. And I got to tell you, besides Pulte and these 3 cabinet members, I also seem to remember Donald Trump claiming a conservation easement on Seven Springs Estate against the law. And I also seem to remember, didn't Jim Comer do a homestead swap with his brother?
Yeah, I do remember that
came out when it was. Yeah.
This, you know what? I mean, we cover the news, the stories and everything, but I could only imagine what it's like to be able to afford 2 residences, 2 properties. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the people that are able to. But I'm struggling to pay my damn mortgage over here. So how can I get a homestead credit on my primary residence? But no, listen, like you said, AG, at the beginning, you should make sure before you're throwing these stones that you don't live in a glass house. And that's literally what's coming back at them right here. So.
Yeah. And I think Ken Paxton, too. Also has claimed
he's got bigger problems going on.
Dude's got bigger problems going on. You're right. He does. He definitely does.
He's got bigger problems.
And he's trying to run for Senate against the likes of Colin Allred and the new kid that just threw his hat in the ring.
He's got bigger problems
to take corn and seed. Yeah, he really does. And that is putting it lightly. I mean, dude's been indicted for fraud, right?
Yeah. The fraud and his home life isn't doing too well. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
that's what I was talking about.
Wife in Congress.
That's the white homestead he needs to be worried about.
Impeachment. And his wife was a member, so she couldn't vote.
Yep.
On the impeachment. Oh, holy crap. That's right. And then the big divorce because he was cheating.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's very interesting.
Very.
But there's more going on.
There is more going on.
I think you have an update on the Proud Boys lawsuit.
I do. I'm glad to finally get to this story. And this is from CBS. Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Justice Department are facing blowback over their effort to block a lawsuit from members of the far-right Proud Boys who are seeking financial reimbursement for their criminal cases and imprisonment for offenses stemming from the January 6, 2021 attack at the Capitol. The Proud Boys January 6 rioters who met in a social media X Spaces gathering last month are calling for Bondi's resignation after the Justice Department filed a motion in federal court in Florida last week asking a judge to dismiss a civil lawsuit filed by Enrique Tarrio, Zachary Roll, Dominique Pizzola, and other Proud Boys. All of the men were in prison for their roles in the riot before President Trump pardoned them on the day he was inaugurated for his second term.
Yep. The Proud Boys lawsuit sought more than $100 million in damages and alleged the men suffered a parade of horribles, which is, by the way, not the proper use of that phrase. Egregious and systemic abuse of the legal system and the United States Constitution to punish and oppress political allies of President Trump by any and all means necessary, legal or illegal. Bro, you were pardoned and you're not in prison for 22 years.
Yeah, exactly. Take your basketball and go home.
Jeez. Quote, through the use of evidence tampering, witness intimidation, violations of attorney-client privilege, and placing spies to report on trial strategy, the government got its fondest wish of imprisoning the January 6 defendants. That's what the lawsuit claims. All of that was litigated in motions to dismiss during the trial.
Yeah.
Courts have already ruled on none of that being true. And in a filing on August 25th, the Justice Department responded that the January 6 defendants had not yet exhausted administrative remedies before they filed suit. But they also argued that the U.S. enjoys sovereign immunity from such lawsuits, like the one from the Proud Boys.
Or what about the one from Ashley Babbitt? But they decided to settle on that one. Interesting. In their publicly posted X Spaces meeting video, January 6 defendants and supporters blistered the Justice Department for opposing the Proud Boys civil challenge. Isaac Thomas, a pardoned January 6 defendant from Michigan who participated in the meeting, said, "Unfortunately, Pam Bondi's DOJ seems to be advocating for the same things that the Biden regime was advocating for a long time ago. I joined the call of Trump supporters saying that Pam Bondi needs to step down," Thomas said. The January 6 defendants have been dumped out
of prison.
About to say, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
So you want out of prison and $100 million. Now, Mark McCloskey, an attorney who said he's seeking financial payments for Capitol riot defendants, said in the video that he was, quote, very disappointed in the Justice Department's challenge to the Proud Boys lawsuit. He said if the Justice Department opposes other legal challenges seeking restitution or financial awards for January 6 defendants, quote, it's going to make our lives very difficult.
Cry me a river.
I mean, come on.
Cry me a river.
He predicted more.
They could have stayed home that day.
You think?
They could have stayed home that day.
You could still be in prison. You burnt. He predicted, by the way, this lawyer, he predicted more legal challenges would be coming as some of the more than 1,500 January 6 defendants pursue financial compensation. And he referenced hundreds of people who could be impacted. I'm surprised that this story didn't mention the Ashley Babbitt settlement.
I am too, because like I said, they say they have immunity for something like that. But like that's exactly what I would do. I mean, I now I'm putting myself in Proud Boy shoes. But
hard to do.
They already settled a case like this before, and for them to dismiss it without even it being heard, I mean, they have a point there. I mean, both of them are idiots, the DOJ and the Proud Boys, but
yeah, I don't know. Again, maybe they're also don't have a ton of money for great lawyers.
Yeah,
who knows? Maybe they could borrow Newsmax's lawyer.
They can file their suits jointly.
Here, Rudy's not doing anything. Oh wait, he's disbarred. He can't practice law.
Oh, poor Rudy.
Bummer. What about Navarro? No, they're all disbarred. Anyway,
all disbarred.
We're going to talk about him and a couple other Trump allies and give you updates on that in our final segment. But we got to take one last quick break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
All right, everybody, welcome back. All right, just a couple of updates from Trump allies. I love this section. We just give updates about the allies of Donald Trump. And this is from The Times. Advisors to President Trump have discussed the possibility of giving Mayor Eric Adams of New York City a position in the administration as a way to clear the field in November's mayoral election and damage the chances of the Democrats' frontrunner, Zoran Mamdani. Is that how you say his first name?
Zoran.
I've never said
Mamdani.
it. I just know Mamdani. He's amazing. I love his energy and what he's bringing to the table right now, according to three people with knowledge of the discussions. The talks have also involved finding a possible place in the administration for the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa.
Yeah, Curtis Sliwa, who lives at home with like 19 cats. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, I hear that they want to give Eric Adams the ambassador to Saudi Arabia job.
Just to get, and all of this just to make a Republican clear the path for it.
Or for Cuomo.
Or that's what I'm saying, make it easier for him, for Cuomo. Yeah. Because Cuomo's already shown what type of person he is.
Yeah, and in fact, the Times says the goal would be to give Andrew Cuomo a better chance of defeating Mamdani, who's the Democratic nominee. And the discussion within Trump's orbit about making a potentially audacious intervention dates back weeks. And it's unclear if they'll ultimately amount to anything, but the topic has taken on added urgency in New York in recent days as an already chaotic race steams into the last stretch of the campaign season. You got to remember, that's this November.
Yeah, it's not 2026. Yeah.
And I know it feels like April right now, but it's like When we got Prop 50 on the ballot here in California to redraw our maps, I was like, great, we have so much time. We're going to campaign. And my friends are like,
Nope.
It's 2 months away. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, things are moving fast, which is kind of a good thing. Overlapping conversations have been playing out among some of the city's biggest real estate executives and among allies of Cuomo, 67, a moderate Democrat who has known Mr. Trump for more than 40 years. Mr. Cuomo is running as a third-party candidate after losing bigly in June's Democratic primary to Mr. Mondani.
Yeah, and those New Yorkers have been frantically searching for a way to halt the rise of Mr. Mamdani, a 33-year-old state assemblyman, a Democratic socialist, who they fear will sour the city's business climate and have discussed potentially offering the mayor public or private sector jobs to encourage him to drop out. Now, Adams has said, I'm not dropping out.
Yeah.
But John Catsimatidis, who's a billionaire grocery and oil magnate in New York, said in an interview that he's spoken with Trump about the race on Sunday and expected the shape of the contest to change in the coming days. Quote, he's very concerned, said Mr. Catsimatidis of Donald Trump. How do they say it? This is for all the tea in China. This is serious. And no, Mr. Catsimatidis, that's not what that phrase means.
I was just about to say, I was trying to draw the parallel. AG, that's not it, right?
I think what he means is this is for the whole ball of wax.
Yeah.
All the tea in China is, I wouldn't miss this for all the tea in China.
All the tea in China.
That's a different thing. This is not for all the tea in China. That's not, that you don't use that idiom when you're talking about the stakes of something.
Yeah. I didn't think so. I was trying to figure out what does that mean right there. Who will? All right. Now, this is from Politico. Peter Navarro will not let this go. Peter Navarro, the longtime economic advisor to President Donald Trump, is a year removed from his 4-month prison sentence for defying a subpoena from the January 6th Select Committee. Navarro is back in the White House and on the airwaves defending Trump's unprecedented tariff agenda. He's become a hero to the MAGA base and written a small library of books about his legal saga. And the Trump-led Justice Department recently announced that it no longer stands behind the arguments that led to his conviction.
Well, but Navarro wants more than that. As I said earlier in the show, the DOJ is like, you're off the hook. And he's like, no, I want more.
No, I want more.
In court papers filed this past Sunday, the Harvard-trained economist, it's hard to say, says the Justice Department's terse and tepid reversal isn't good enough. It's not good enough. He wants his former prosecutors to explain exactly why they've changed course. Honey, they can't. They can't because there's no legal reason.
It isn't.
To not back your conviction. He wants former prosecutors to explain it, particularly on the complicated issues of executive privilege and presidential immunity that you don't get as an advisor to the president, sir.
You don't. That's not how it works.
No. Now, without that explanation, Navarro says he'll be deprived of a chance to vindicate his original argument that his status as a senior presidential advisor to Trump should have shielded him from contempt of Congress prosecution in the first place. That's not how it works, my friend.
Yeah, it's an awkward dynamic. Navarro, who has said he doesn't want a pardon from Trump, is actually inviting further conflict with the Justice Department prepared to let him off the hook. Navarro, in a statement, said that his continued fight is a matter of principle, one he says could govern the way current and future presidential advisors face investigations by adversarial Congresses or Justice Departments.
He wants the Supreme Court to step in and say anyone who the president talks to also gets immunity.
That's what he wants.
That's what he wants.
That's what he wants.
And that'd be an interesting argument to make. But this is like the Proud Boys. Like, you got pardoned.
Shut up.
Walk away.
Go away.
Go home.
Go away.
Navarro's like, thanks for letting me off the hook, but I need you to explain why.
Why? Like, what do you... Go away? Like... Hey, and only the smartest people, only the best people, only the smartest people, right?
Yeah, I just imagine like the DOJ, like maybe Pam Bondi calls him up and says, look, bro, I can't explain why I'm letting you off the hook because I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, literally.
So,
well, no,
stop.
you gotta. Well, put me back on the hook. Is that what he's saying? Like, put me back on the hook? I mean, what an idiot! What an idiot, man!
They just can't take their win.
Exactly, they're dangling this win that you don't deserve, that you didn't earn, that you probably deserve more jail time, and just saying, "Hey, go away. You're good." They don't know how to do it.
Just pat him on the head and be like, "Head, go away now."
Exactly.
And everybody, we have no update on Rudy. And I've been waiting for this. Some investigative journalist has to get to the bottom of this, whatever the hell happened on the side of the road.
Yeah. What happened?
That night, some 19-year-old woman smashed into the back of his car, apparently after he was helping some other woman that had a domestic violence thing or something. But apparently he was never actually across the freeway on the other side of the freeway. But the cops were actually helping that woman and saw whoever smashed into the back of Rudy's car. And then Rudy said, "Don't you dare go near that 19-year-old who hit me. I refuse to press charges. No one should press charges." What? It's weird.
It's a weird story, AG. And
you're a cop? Like, what the frick?
I don't know. And this was in New York. No? Was this in New York? No, it wasn't. It was somewhere.
I think it was in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that sounds right. But they need... I don't know. Maybe there's not enough public concern for Rudy Giuliani. We love Rudy news here, so we might lead that charge. AG, we want to know. I demand to know what happened with Rudy.
Why is Rudy so adamant about the woman hitting him that nothing happens to her?
Exactly. Like, especially if she was like, that's an accident. She should be cited at the very minimum for an accident, a collision.
Was a field sobriety test done?
Good question.
Who is this woman?
Good question. That's what. Come on, investigative reporters, get on it.
Get on it. And if they do, we will update you. All right, my friend. That's our show today.
That is our show.
We want to thank everybody for listening. Thanks to our patrons. Thanks to folks who aren't patrons who are listening. Just listening is awesome. We appreciate you. We'll be scheduling at the end of September another happy hour meet and greet where you can join us and ask questions if you're a patron. If you want to become a patron, you can do it at patreon.com/aisle45pod, which is AISLE45POD. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens between now and when the show comes out Wednesday, because we record this on Monday, but also next week when we record the next show. It's always a ton of news. We had a ton to report today. So
yeah. That's what actually I was going to say, AG, that I would encourage people to become patrons so they can find out about it on Thursday or Friday, whenever the bonus comes out. Because we talk about the stuff that, like I said, as we record this on Monday, there's a lot of that is happening in between time. So if you can, go ahead and join up and become a patron and find out about it and the takes on it. That's what's happening. That you don't have to wait from Wednesday to Wednesday to get your updates about it.
And we swear more.
We do swear more. We laugh more. And, we try to add to, I think I'm going to take credit for this one. We're going to try to add some polling questions in there. Like last time we talked about hot dogs, like your favorite hot dog condiments and stuff.
How do you like your hot dogs?
That's it. So hopefully I'll come up with a good one, this one for the next patron episode.
Sounds good. Sounds good, my friend. And we'll see you then. And really hope you have a great week. Please take some time for yourself. Take a little time off. Step back if you need to. I know it's a lot. And we appreciate you getting your news here and from any independent media source. So thanks so much. I'm Allison Gill.
Harry Dunn. Thanks, Sean.
Cleanup on Aisle 45 is written, researched, and produced by Allison Gill with editing by Molly Hockey. Our art and logo design are by Joelle Reeder and Moxie Design Studios, and our music is composed and performed by Adam Orr. Cleanup on Aisle 45 is a proud member of the MSW Media Network, a collection of creator-owned podcasts dedicated to news, politics, and justice. For more information, visit mswmedia.com. MSW Media.